here right on the head, and we'll get started with our meeting. We'll start with a roll call.
Yes, ma'am. Chairperson Terry Bavona.
I am here.
Vice Chairperson Dennis Jones.
Here.
Committee Member Ellen Paul.
Here.
Committee Member Sydney Marikey.
Here.
And Committee Member Rick Ziska. Okay.
Okay, we'll go into a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll start with public input. That's how we start our evening here. George, I'm not going for last names here, George.
My name is George Giraldo. I'm with Bright Arbor. First, I just wanted to say thank you to the city of Winter Springs and to the community for taking the time to review our proposal and considering us for this project. Oh, of course. Thank you. We truly appreciate the opportunity. Oh, you're good. No worries. We want to say that regardless of who's selected, I want you all to know that we're available with any of your lighting needs. Anything that the city will need in the future regarding lighting, we would like to help. And whether that's troubleshooting, maintenance, design, service, as a member of the community, we care about seeing Winter Springs continue to look very beautiful, and lighting is something that we're truly passionate about. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I look forward to hopefully being a resource in the future for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Okay, Kurt?
Kurt Marikey, President of the Tuscaloosa Homeowner Association. Just a few comments, good comments. We're looking okay after all this freeze. I see some of the plants are coming back that were cut back, and that's good. And we took a beating. We could use some water. I know that too. We're looking forward to that time. But I didn't know if you were aware of or not that we do a Yard of the Month club for the whole community. And Laura Lee Wood is the head of that, the realtor. And there's a committee that actually selects the house that is the one, and they have a beautiful sign, and then they're put up and featured in the magazine. So that's to kind of encourage people to keep up their homes and to look nice, and to those that are doing it to do that as well. Then also the Garden Club has come to us and asked us to partner a little bit with some projects. And in talking with them, they would also like to partner with you a little bit in some of the work they're doing. I guess the city is giving them, or the park district, a piece of property to use at Sam Smith Park to do wildflowers and things like this. And so they're anxious to do anywhere around town, around Tuscaloosa, to do some kind of planting and native flowers and things like that. So that's just for your information.
Very good. Okay, thank you very much. I'll make note. Okay, and then Andrew.
Andrew Borgale with Bright Arbor. I just wanted to, again, kind of echo what Jorge was saying there, with thanking you guys for the consideration. We are a newer company, so being able to get in front of a board like yourselves and be in consideration it's a big deal for us, and we really appreciate even the consideration. A few things I wanted to highlight about our proposal. I know that during our previous conversation, we had talked about 50% native plants being used, a 50% sum of native plants. I wanted to point out we did meet that, and then we also, in addition to that, we made sure that 100% of the organic matter that's used, all the plant matter, it is all IFAS, Florida-friendly landscaping. It's It's all on the list. So even though some of the things might not necessarily be a native specific plant, they're all well established in the area, and University of Florida and IFAS have identified it as a Florida-friendly landscaping plant. Additionally, when it comes to the lighting, we are able to do a lot of the landscaping for lower overheads because we don't have as much overhead, able to tighten those margins a little bit, free up some more budget. With that, we are able to use the best products on the market for lighting. We went ahead and used FX Luminaire, the Luxor system. You can ask any lighting professional. Those are the #1 lights on the market available. And because of that, we're able to kind of go into what we talked about last time with the scenes, the lighting, all the color changing features, app enabled, Bluetooth controlled. So while when you compare some of the different lighting fixtures on the market, these might seem a little bit pricier. We consider a little bit of a buy once, cry once situation. They're a little bit pricier, but as you can see in our warranties as well, they're extensive. So these are something that is going to last for a very long time. They're easily replaceable, they're easily repairable, and they should last longer than really you might even want them out there. So really with that, it's going to fully encapsulate what we talked about previously with all of the different scenes, the seasonal stuff that we can do. And then additionally, we added on our quarterly service visits that we do. So we've been doing that with all of our clients for a while now. So we have quarterly service visits. That includes going out there, making any adjustments based on new growth, ensuring that the entire system is running properly, and then especially for a municipal setting like this, we can go ahead and meet with someone and program all of those scenes that you want for the coming months. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Any other public input? No. Okay, we'll close public input. And we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from March 4th that were attached to the package that was sent out by the city. Hopefully everybody had a chance to take a look at those, and we'll have a motion to approve those.
A motion that we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
A second.
All right. Just do a quick roll call. Chairperson Bavona,
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Jones,
Aye.
Committee Member Paul,
Aye.
Committee Member Marikey.
Aye. Okay, the next item on our agenda is item number 500, which is the quarterly expenditures to date. I think that was also handed out to us here recently and included in the package as well. Hopefully Al had a chance to take a look at that. I did. I did have a chance to look at it. The only thing that popped out to me was somebody who was out of budget, which was a South Fountain motor repair of $620, which the way our fountains are going, I kind of knew one would crop up here sooner or later.
Do you
No
want to
questions?
talk about it now, or the
We'll
only
catch
other?
it later.
Okay, the only other thing that kind of seemed out of the norm was one of the irrigation accounts was a little bit higher. We did have a leak, so that has been repaired. So that's why that line was just a little bit higher in April as well.
Yeah, other than that, the expenses look pretty much in line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can move past that one. Okay, so let's move on to the number 501, is that we want to move on to next, is our proposals. Our 3 proposals here, or, yes, 3 proposals here for our project, the Tuscarora entrance renovation project. Yes.
There it is. Thank you. Kevin Maddox, City of Winter Springs. Sorry, I wanted to comment real quick on the South Fountain motor
Oh,
repair.
did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to kind of bring you up to speed on it. It was a winding issue. It's a possibility if they send it back to the manufacturer, it should be covered under warranty by the manufacturer, so we might be getting that money back.
Good, that's what we like to hear.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, yeah, that was the only guy who was sticking out a little bit out of anonymous. Okay, so who's gonna go through the proposals here? Is that gonna be
Yeah.
Brian? Yeah, pull them up on the screen?
Yeah, we can just pull them up.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I didn't. even
This
know
is
we
our
moved
second round
I
on these
apologize.
proposals. Oh, no, that's fine.
I didn't know we were done with the financials already.
Yeah, we're done.
We're
It was
done.
a quick, it was a quick. There's
Ready
nothing
for-
there to complain about.
Ready for you.
Just give them a minute.
We're doing renovations as the heat is coming on board, right?
Yeah, we'll start with the Baker proposal, and then we'll do the Bright Arbor, and then Nature's Care is the third one. There's 4 documents. That's the scope of work.
Which you
that-
just sent out that in April, right? And
Yes,
this
so-
was the second round.
Correct. So this is a scope of work that we developed following the previous meeting of your committee. This scope was shared with the companies that had previously shown interest in the project, and it was also posted on the city website in the event that there were others that may be interested. So the proposals that we received, we did receive 3 proposals again. The first one from Baker Commercial Landscaping. It did include cost as well as the plant material and size and quantities. What was not included in their proposal, which we had asked for in the scope, was a landscape plan schematic. So that was not included in their proposal, and as well as the lighting as well. That total their total proposal was $44,819.75, which is within the budget that was established by the committee. Moving on to, I just closed what I was open. Just give me one second. The second proposal in the packet is from Bright Arbor. They did meet all of the requirements that we put out in the scope. There's some renderings in there. They do have different bloom calendars, a plan for the monument feature as well as the median. There is plant quantities and materials listed, as well as plan for re-landscaping the median right there in between the 2 monument features. Their total, if you give me one second, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, came down to $43,117.50. So that's in the packet as well. And then the third one that we received was from Nature's Care. Nature's Care did also meet all of the requirements of the scope that was put together by staff. So that included a breakdown of their costs of material, details of the types of material, as well as the size. They met the Florida native ask or requirement that the board had put together. And then also they did include renderings in their package as well. And if you just bear with me, you can see the renderings there on the screen. My computer is not linked to the screens. Their total price came down to, it's on the top of it's actually at the top. 42, correct. Yeah. So theirs was 42,036. So with that, again, this was all information that we included in the packet. We're welcome, discussion from the board on these proposals and the scope that was put together, and staff will be here to answer any questions you might have.
Great, really good job, actually, the second time around. I think everything, it hit all of the things we were looking for, right? And hopefully everybody here had a chance to take a look at those packages. Yeah, the lighting varied from vendor to vendor. I did notice that. I did drive by there the other day, and it is pretty darn dark. I mean, I will say that. So lighting is definitely going to be an enhancement for the community, for sure. Any comments from anybody else on who they? And we actually have Bright Arbor here, I guess, if we have any concerns. If you'd like, since you are here, can they run through their proposal up there really quick and just show us the plantings? The only question I had with that was the blue days. I'm not exactly a fan of the Blue Days. Now, the only reason I say that is they get straggly looking to me after a while, don't they? They don't stay the low like they're supposed to. They kind of go like nuts sometimes. Is there a way that you will plan to keep those low? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there is some training involved in it. With regular maintenance, you're able to keep it to a certain degree. Again, if it's a matter of, hey, we love everything, but we don't love the Blue Days, we'll put in Asiatic jasmine, right? You know, we can work with that. But if you wanted me to run through it
Yeah,
real
can you
quick-
just
real
run
quick.
through this really quick
Yeah, of
so we
course.
have a better understanding on how this
Especially
is
the
put,
lighting.
especially the
I like-
lighting,
Yeah.
yeah.
I noticed that.
I mean, the
that was,
plant
like
placements
Yeah.
look fabulous, actually. I do like the fact that you could look at it through the 4 seasons. I did like that view.
Yeah.
Which you can
Yeah,
kind of
and-
see, we're constantly going to have color there, it
And the
looks like.
the colors are pretty consistent. There's a lot of color in that proposal.
Yeah, and that's something that we tried to really space out the bloom calendar, right? So you are going to have some things that are going to have color year round, but we have a lot of seasonal blooms. So making sure that we kind of have a year round color. Something is going to be blooming just about all the time, which is really good. Obviously, you have your different seasons. If we switch out the Blue Days, we can have that something different. You have Society Garlic, Sunshine Mimosa, and then I don't want to bore you with all the details.
No, I don't need, yeah, just a quick overview of your,
Yeah.
of the
So,
lighting.
I mean, that's really kind of what you're looking at when it comes to the
Yeah.
different bloom calendars.
It's just my neighbor has Blue Days and it looks terrible.
Yeah, and
So I
that,
got this thing in my head that says, don't go Blue.
so we see that a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try to keep an open mind.
Yeah, we see that a lot as well. Like, some people have a really bad feeling about Firebush, right? Because they see it and sometimes it looks really good and then other times it's like bare, right?
Yeah.
Same with Azalea. So this is kind of just a general idea for what we're going to be going for when it comes to the planting. So obviously that front, we did a border on the front of the Blue Days, and then behind that is Sunshine Mimosa, which is more of a wildflower look.
Uh-huh.
So you're going to have a few different colors in that mix. And then we're accenting really all of the stuff with the pink muhly grass. So that's a big feature of a lot of the design. We have the muhly grass obviously spanning right in front of the monument and in front of the sign itself, and then sporadically throughout that area. Now, those 3 squares down at the bottom, we actually included in that proposal because if you notice, I think if we have one of the pictures of the current conditions, might be above it or Yeah.
Right there.
so you have a lot of that ground cover that is kind of pushed itself out, and then we have very, very faint grass there. So we did include restructuring that front area, so it looks a little bit nicer, it looks a little bit more uniform, and resodding all of that area, so that you have a nice green look.
You're talking about St. Augustine for the sod. I noticed one of the proposals had Bahia.
Yeah.
What are you going to use?
Yeah, so we have St. Augustine in there. I personally, and I think I can speak for him as well, we're not really fans of using Bahia when we can not. Obviously, St. Augustine, it does pose some issues at times. It is a weed at the end of the day. People feel certain ways about St. Augustine. When you're looking at the aesthetics, it does require a little bit more irrigation, but not a whole lot. I
How
think
about
the-
this blue citron? I hear that's a new
I can't
upcoming
speak as an
kind-
expert
okay,
on
yeah,
that.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
I mean, you can go a few different ways. You could go Bermuda with that. You could go the St. Augustine. You could do the Bahia. I personally don't really like the look of Bahia, so that's why we went with St. Augustine.
Got it.
And I think it's a nice deeper green. It's going to accent the colors a lot better.
What about a centipede?
You do, I do,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah,
Then
we could
keep
we
it
could
in.
look into
That's
something like
what
that.
we had it.
It runs like St. Augustine, but it doesn't get all the bugs and all that stuff in it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something we can look into.
I
Like
don't know locally. I grew up in North Florida and near the beach.
Yeah.
And we had centipede.
Yeah. So it's
and
not
never had a problem.
it's not extremely common, but we could look into the feasibility of it. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in that one either.
Is there irrigation there?
Currently, yes.
Yes, there is, okay.
Yeah, we checked the feasibility of everything.
Okay.
And then obviously we are going to have to relocate some of the irrigation. That's included. just to make sure that we have proper growth. And then if we wanted to jump down, do you want me to jump into lighting?
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
like to hear a
please
bit
break
about.
that down.
So as far as our philosophy on the lighting goes, we want to make it as easy as possible for you guys to have themed lighting throughout the seasons. So that means if you can eliminate the use of having to hire a contractor for holiday lighting at some point, that's what we want to do. So we want to give you guys the plethora of options of different colors, different themes, and it doesn't have to just be for the holidays. It can be for any kind of event. If you guys have like a neighborhood event going on, let's set up a theme for that. So that's why we were so excited at the fact that we had the overhead to be able to use this product, because it's not every day that you can use such a high-end product. So it's very much to your advantage to be able to change all these colors, have different themes.
So where is the lighting? Just kind of just scope it
Yeah,
out for us,
so-
really, so we can visually.
So we have
see
those
it.
dots. So we have, right there, we have it front and back of each large plant. So we have the Sylvester at the back, we have the palms in the middle, and then we have all the plants at the front. So we have, and then at the front and the rear of that median, we have a path light that's going to shine down and kind of light up that front and back portion, almost as a safety light. So you always know that there's a median there. You're going to see the trees, but you're going to see the clear direction. Oh, there we go. So we have, those are our path lights right there, and that the front and rear of each individual tree.
And the
You
reason
have-
we did front and rear is because we want to give you guys both perspectives. Whether you're coming in or leaving, you'll be able to see your landscaping lit up very beautifully.
Yeah.
And that's not blocking any right of way or anything like that?
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
No. So all of it is going to be, like I said, the path lights at the front and the rear. If you want to scroll down just a touch, the front and the rear, that you're going to get.
You have a diagram that highlights the wiring, don't
Yes.
you?
Yes, we do.
So there's that. So
Okay.
we already looked into the feasibility as well. Obviously, we do a lot of wiring under pavers. Those pavers there aren't very tight, so we don't have to dredge underneath. We'll be able to actually just lift those pavers, dig a few inches under, and drop it in. And that's something that we can actually do midday with traffic. It's not not an issue.
It's
'Cause
very
we're-
easy.
We're pulling one paver at a time, and it's just wire laying flat. So it's very, very, very easy to do. And then it's going to just run up and down. This wire, it's 12 tube aerial, so it's not, you don't bury it very deep, and it doesn't float its way up. So it's not really going to have much of an impact on the roots. It's not going to have much of an impact on the actual landscape itself.
And then if you notice on the transformer locations, there's currently 2 transformers right there. And the previous contractor used a piece of PVC pipe and then they drilled into the mortar, which you can very visibly see it. We're gonna run our wire in a way that the wire goes through the back. We're gonna fill up that mortar, make that look really pretty, so you don't see any of the wiring, you don't see any of the, you're only gonna see, barely even see the lights. You're just gonna see the effect of the lights.
wiring one more. So you can see actually right here. So you see how we have the we have it run around the back of the monument there. That right about where that it's actually right there. There it is. It's gonna be behind that post. That's our transformer, and that'll get run back and around. So you're gonna eliminate an ugly pipe in the mix,
Yeah.
and everything's gonna get run all the way around. If you saw in the diagram with the median, there are 2 transformers. So one of them is the large mother transformer, and then you do have what's called a satellite transformer that'll relay everything. It'll connect in to that. It'll relay all of the controls as well, so that everything is cohesive. It's one full system, unlike some other systems where you might have different sections that you have to program each individual one. So we can control each light, but it's one cohesive system.
And as
Right.
far as the actual programming of the lights go, we are gonna take care of all the logistics, all the back end stuff. You guys just give us the theme, we create it for you. So you guys tell us what you want. Oh, I want this light here specifically to be this color. We'll change that for you. The ideas are yours. We just execute.
And if you say we want Christmas and we do, it looks like this, and you drive past and you say,
It looks ugly.
I don't like
We'll
that.
change it.
We'll change it. You know, it's very easy. Once you have it all set up, it's extremely intuitive. I mean, I'm sure that we could get with the city representative as well and teach them how to do it if that's the route you wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they're sitting over there. These are the guys who'll be done. These are the guys who'll be doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. I really wanted to know about the light,
Yeah, I
so
think
it's,
that's
yeah.
kind of critical,
Yeah.
for sure.
Anything else? Cynthia, any questions for me? No?
I think so. I'm interested in the, where the color is gonna be.
Yep.
Some of the colorful plants that you're planting. Can you highlight where they would be, or is that too?
For when it comes to what
Well,
plants
like
are.
your sunshine mimosa,
Yeah,
and
so the
your
sunshine mimosa is going to be all.
sliding garlic.
Yeah, so our sunshine mimosa is going to be all in that front section behind the Blue Days ring.
Okay,
And then the Society garlic, I believe, is going to be up. You see those purple dots up on the second tier?
okay.
I believe that's Society garlic. There we go. I believe that's Society garlic there, based off of the diagram. And then your pink muley grass, podocarpus walls on the side. And then
your
you have,
blanket flower?
we do have some blanket flower in the mix, and that's going to kind of go in with that sunshine mimosa.
Background for that? Okay.
Yep.
I just
So-
want to get an idea where that color is gonna pop up.
Yeah, so we really tried to lay it out where you have some color just about everywhere. It just depends on the time of year, and you're gonna have it in one location.
Yeah,
And then when it comes to the lights, every single light in the system, except for the front and the rear of the median, like I was talking about with those safety lights, every single one of those is fully capable of doing any color, any intensity, anyway.
And as far as the lighting goes, as you can see, we have wire basically everywhere. So if you guys look at it at night and you say, actually, we would want this light to be, maybe in a different location, we can work with you guys. We appreciate the feedback. This is not just our design, this is your design as well. So we can move lights anywhere, really, within
And-
the space.
Add, subtract, whatever,
Mhm.
whatever that looks like. So obviously we quoted 32 lights, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's why we were curious where they
Yeah.
all had
So
gone.
32 lights, so I mean, each of those dots is an individual light. They're different lights, but every single one of those dots is a light.
Are there any plants that are currently there that we're retaining, or are they all?
Um,
In the median.
in the median.
In the median, you're
all of the
retaining.
larger, all the
Okay.
larger trees in the median are being maintained.
Okay,
In the monuments, I don't believe so. I think maybe one or two of the smaller palms, possibly. I don't believe that we have any other.
I don't think we have any of the things in
Because
the
most
monuments.
of them are outside of the ground cover in the front. Most of them are pretty worse for wear.
Okay. But in the median, you are keeping the bigger guys.
We are keeping the
Yeah,
bigger,
yeah,
all
for
of the
sure.
bigger guys.
Yeah, okay.
All of those are being kept, and then we're just planting. We have plans, especially for the larger palms. We have Society garlic and muley grass going around those, so you have a nice ring bed around it.
Any other questions for these guys? Kevin?
Is there a place that we could go look at these lights that are different colors at
Yeah.
another neighborhood? Because I don't think I've ever seen different colored lights.
So for this specific system, I don't know of one place that's currently installed.
Okay.
We have other projects that we can show you that don't have the color changing. If you did want a demo of the color changing system specifically, we can set up a demo at a residence if you wanted to see that.
Well, I've seen it on houses,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but I just
So
don't think
if
I've
you
ever
wanted, we
seen
could
it
set
in
it
a
up.
neighborhood.
We could set it up at the site and show you kind of what it looks like if that is something that you wanted to see before making a decision. That's up
We
to you.
just want it dignified.
We've
Yes, of
also,
course.
in our proposal, we've also included links to the FX website where they have a bunch of different
Okay.
examples of what the lights look like.
Yeah, and kind of going off of what you said with it looking dignified, right? Obviously, you don't want the whole thing looking like a Christmas tree every
No.
day of every year.
Mhm.
All of these lights have the capability of doing a white. So they can do whites and yellows, which are going to look just like any other light. And if you say, we only want to do the color for holidays, then the rest of the year is white and yellow. It's of a,
I like that it has versatility.
yeah, it's a temperature that you want, that you set it at. We normally go for a little bit of a warmer tone that tends to look very homey. It looks really good against the greens. And then you say, hey, 4th of July's coming around. We want red, white, and blue everywhere. We'll do red, white, and blue strips, you know? We
And
can do that.
The programming on the system is very cool as well because we can set the programming once and set it for a certain time frame of the year, and you won't have to touch it ever again. So if we set Christmas from December 1st to January 1st, every year on December 1st, it will automatically turn on to that theme.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't only want lights. I don't only want lights, though. I want good plants, too.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
they want them to complement each other.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah,
Very
and
much,
that's, and that's
very much
where-
so. I want
Mhm.
definitely a balance
Yes,
here.
of course, and that's where we really tried
Yeah.
to. Obviously, we have a lot wider of a budget for what we're going at. So, you know, we were able to put together a really cohesive landscape design, and then we were able to paint the lights right in.
Yeah, very good. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Any other questions? Kevin? No? Brian?
Yeah, Kevin Maddox, landscape, our manager for the city. I had a few questions. Warranty. So I know you include a warranty in it. I believe it's a 1 year on plant.
The plant, it should be, I think it's 1 year. Let me confirm that. If you actually, can you scroll down to the last page? I think it's the last page of this. You'll be able to look at the whole warranty information there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so for the, with it, when it comes to a plant warranty, outside of acts of God, you know, is really kind of what we have there. So if things are held within how they're put in, there's no reason they shouldn't work.
Yeah.
Okay. You've answered my questions about the making the connections in the median. Well, the one question I had, which actually brought up another question, MOT certification. Are you guys capable, or do you have a contractor that you can work with, or that you do work
Yep.
with, to provide the MOT?
Yeah.
For that job?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're going to have to,
of
especially for
course.
incoming traffic off of 434.
Absolutely.
Let's see, regrading in the median. I didn't see anything about regrading because that median's built up. A lot of biologic, a lot of detritus needs to be taken down, back down. I mean, of course, we're not going to get it back down to original grade, but as close as possible. I didn't see anything mentioning regrading in the other beds as well.
Yeah, so we kind of we didn't specify regrading necessarily. We kind of have that worked into our labor costs and the site prep costs. So, you know, obviously it'll be done to a reasonable and professional standard. If you would like further regrading and you say we really want an extensive regrade to get it down to a specified level, then we can see if that's feasible with the current contract. If we need to do a post quote on it, post invoice, then we can look into that as well. But based off of what we've already quoted, to a reasonable degree, the site will be prepped and graded to a reasonable level.
Now, you say reasonable. What is reasonable in your mind?
I don't know if I could specifically say
Like
3 inches.
So you take out the plants that are there, the existing material, pull out the mulch, and are we just going back in with the new plants?
No, obviously we're going to remove a nice layer of topsoil there so that we can reestablish that topsoil. But when it comes to an area that's 4 feet above, you know, or let's say with the highest part of the median is maybe 1.5 feet, 18 inches over ground level of where it should be. Does that sound about right?
So around some of the root flares on the Sylvesters,
Yeah.
They're considerably high. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was another question, as far as shaving some of those root flares. If you're, if that's something that you guys are including in this proposal as well, or if it's, we're just going to leave them how they are and work around them. I just want to, I want to make sure the board doesn't expect certain things and, they're not, and it's not delivered. I just want to make sure,
course.
Full transparency.
Yeah, so when it comes to the regrading, obviously we have the humps that's going on in the median. It has kind of created a hump, getting that down to a flat level. Obviously, we're planting the width of it. So there's going to be a substantial amount of material taken out in order to get to a flat level across the entire median without it overflowing. I think that would be, to me, that would be reasonable level, grading it to a flat level.
I guess the question I have, so, I mean, you have to have a lip to hold,
Yep.
to hold the mulch in. Is that what you would consider reasonable, bringing it back down? I know there's going to be a crown. Of course, we want a crown. I mean, you want a crown in any median. You don't want to hold in water.
Yeah.
But bringing it back down enough to reform that lip to hold the mulch in so it doesn't spill over?
That would be reasonable.
Okay. Let's see. As far as controlling the lights, is that like a I know you said that, it's pretty intuitive, something you could teach, city staff or whoever to control. Is that a subscription service as well? Is it a service call from you guys, or, how does that work?
Yeah, so we've included 4 visits in because we normally do a $500 a year service plan.
Okay.
That's what we do for homeowners. So we've waived that fee and included that first year of service calls for all of those redesigns. And in those meetings, we'll be able to do the redesigns for as far as you want to go out. And then in that site visit is trimming back, making sure that everything is right, replacing those relocating, I should say, not replacing, relocating those lights to be in the best position. When it comes to the actual controls, that's directly from the manufacturer. So we can train that. We can train city staff on how to use that, or if you want us to take care of it, we can take care of it. Obviously, that first year is covered, and then we can talk about what expense looks like later on, as after that year is expired. But for right now, that's what we've included.
We're going to give you guys the credentials to the app. It's controlled from an app.
That was my next question. Whether if is there a cell, so is it Wi-Fi, or is it cell, have to have a cell card, a SIM card or something like that? Is that type of for in the field?
It's a Bluetooth connectivity.
So it's okay.
Yeah. So we don't need a router or Wi-Fi service or cell service. When those are powered up, they automatically admit a Bluetooth connection.
And you can also program them from the transformer itself, whether that be the main transformer or the satellite.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as far as the actual programming of the lights go, we plan on teaching whoever wants to learn how to program the lights. And if you guys really don't want to go through us for the programming, and let's say after we teach you guys, you forget how to change the light or change the color, you can always call FX Luminaire themselves, and they will walk you through how to program the lights.
But yeah, really just to emphasize, you don't have to go through us.
Mhm.
We're going to hand over all that information. We will also have that information. So if you want us to do it, we can do it. If you want city staff to do it, city staff can do it. So it's pretty intuitive.
That's all I had.
One question on that, right, just to piggyback on that, just hypothetically, let's say we do other lighting events within Tuscarora here as we improve our district. Can that lighting solution be linked to this lighting solution on the app, or are they several different
So
platforms?
within one account, you should be able to control multiple sites.
Oh, you
As
can.
of right now,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
what
just curious.
FX Luminaire has developed. So if they change that and they say you need one account for one location, but city staff, theoretically, if you decide we have, 5 years down the road, we have 7 locations that have this lighting solution, city staff can control each one from one login.
Okay,
That's what is developed right now, but we don't have control over what FX Luminaire allows and doesn't allow.
yeah, just kind of curious what that
Yeah.
would be. Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Keen? No, thank you very much. Very,
course. Thank you.
very, very good job. Thank you. Okay, let's take a look at the second proposal here from Baker. Did we look at Baker?
think we looked at that at the beginning.
Yeah, we
I don't
kinda-
think- Is there anybody here from Baker?
No, I don't think there is, but
Okay.
there was really no diagram, so it was really hard for us that they didn't cover the scope of the request, so to say. So I think
Yeah,
we're just
unfortunately,
gonna
Baker
kinda pass
didn't,
on Baker, yeah.
this was everything they
Yeah.
submitted. So, yeah, and they left the lighting out completely. So they, honestly, they didn't meet the scope. I wouldn't, suggest you kick it out, but, still, I just wanted to let you know that they didn't meet the scope per city standards anyways.
Right, and we did kind of review the plant types and lighting, but it's just a little difficult to make a decision on that kind of money without some kind of visual, which
Agreed.
we kind of required in our scope. But Nature's Care here did give us a diagram, and they did give us a lot of information here as well. So I think we should just, I don't think there's a representative here today, but we could certainly go through the proposal very quickly as well.
Yeah, Nature's Care does not have a they, unfortunately, they were unable to be here.
Yeah, that's fine.
But also it wasn't required in the,
No, it
in the
was not.
scope as well.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
And I think they added a lighting solution and retained the same kind of plants and diagram they had shared with us earlier. I believe that's what changed in here.
They changed types of plants.
Types of plants. Oh, right, they did. They changed types of plants, right. The Middle Island kind of, it's.
Yeah, they
it's-
changed the plant palette to meet the needs,
Mm-hmm.
of the board, of the community. But they did add, the lighting.
They did add the lighting, yeah, I
Correct.
did see that. And I did like their boulder solution in the middle. I thought that was kind of interesting concept on a center island design. That kind of got me kind of, I don't know, I thought it was kind of neat. Maintenance, I guess maintaining it may be a little, I guess you pressure wash those things, I don't know. They're like a big old rock sitting there. But I did like their proposal as well. So hopefully everybody had a chance to at least look through them. And any questions on Nature's Care? I'm sure Kevin can kind of help us
I
there.
don't have any questions.
Okay. Ellen, you good? No? Cynthia, you okay? Okay. Well, we appreciate it. It's 3 proposals, so order of business next, Brian, is,
If anyone's inclined to make a motion on a recommendation.
I'll make a recommendation.
A motion for who we want to pick?
Yeah, for a motion to make a selection here out of the 3 vendors that have submitted proposals.
I think we have
For our
enough
project.
information to pick
I-
provider, yeah.
Yeah, I think the second time around here, they covered the scope. We went more Florida native, which is nice. We have a nice lighting solution. And this was our top priority project for '26. And I think fiscal year is almost halfway through, so it would be nice to at least move forward
Definitely.
on this, right?
Would you like me to make a motion?
Mm-hmm.
I make a motion that we accept Bright Arbor's bid to do the redoing of Tuscarora entrance.
Second.
Is that all you need?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, second.
Chairperson Bavona.
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Jones.
I can't hear you.
Vice
She wants your
Chairperson
vote.
Jones. I was
Aye.
asking for your vote.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, dear.
I was asking for your vote in regards to, we're calling the roll call for the vote.
Okay, I vote for Bright Arbor. Is that what you want to hear?
Yeah, or aye.
Aye.
You'd done the motion,
Aye.
so we're just doing a normal roll call for that.
I'm pretty far away over here.
You're good. Committee Member Paul.
Aye.
Committee Member Marikey.
Aye.
Okay, congratulations to Bright Arbor. Next steps, I guess you guys work with the city on the next steps, right? Okay. Well, we're very excited to have that project
Yes.
begin
Yes, we are.
moving forward, for sure. And we are really anticipating a nice, beautiful entrance that Tuscarora deserves. It's been a long time for them. Okay, that was the proposals there. Kevin, do you have anything else to add? I mean, do we have you, are you later, or? I don't see you on the agenda. Yeah, do you want to do the budget, or you want Kevin to?
I think the next item is 502, which
Okay,
is
we'll do
the
502.
2027 budget prep, and then if there's any other loose ends, we can tie those up after 502.
Okay, sounds great. So let's go move on to 502, the budget prep for 27.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, good evening. Holly Queen, Finance Director. So what was in your packets were basically two different models. There was the original model that was brought forward on March 4th. And then also Ms. Vivona had kind of reworked the model. So we wanted to represent these to the committee to ask for direction on what the committee is looking for to prepare for our 2027 budget numbers. So previously, as you can see here on the screen, this was the model that was presented, and the biggest key points on this one was that we basically delayed the fountain, but what we did was we built up kind of a reserve for that throughout the next fiscal years to then be able to do it in 2031. Ms. Bavona then reworked it, and I can let you speak to this if you'd like to explain it in detail, but some of the highlights of this is the dollar amounts are increasing just a little bit more than I had in 2028 and 2029. However, she's reworked it to where the fountain rehab, the North Fountain rehab, could be done sooner, as well as several of the other projects could be done sooner. But with that comes the reduction in what we're carrying in our fund balance. So just wanted to bring these items to the board's attention to discuss and kind of go through so we could make our numbers final in the 27 budget to bring forward in the total budget document, which goes to council in July. And then as well as it would be the assessment district roll forward items that go to council in August. So basically the two items are really kind of talk about and talk through our timing of that fountain and the fund balance that the board is looking to keep.
Yeah, I think Holly and I kind of had this kind of the same increase plan for next year. So she has work to do to get that into the pipeline for approval and into the budget for 27. The big difference was our fountain under their proposal would not occur for almost 5 years down the road.
Yeah.
Right. My proposal actually brings that back up, but it doesn't, what we won't be able to do is a reserve fund. I'm okay with that because we haven't had a reserve fund anyway. And the only thing we're really reserving for, if you think about the big picture, are the fountains. So if we kind of push that towards the end of the term and get that fountain done earlier, we can get more projects done quicker and still have a fund balance, but it's something we should plan for. It's just we'll plan for it later in time.
I support you on that.
Oh, good.
And I think that fountain, you know, we could actually start getting proposals in 27, which is next year in the summer. And because they take, as you can see, how long it takes to get proposals in and to review and look at things and plantings and lighting and everything else there. We can actually start that process next summer and then move right into it right after the next budget year. So that's the difference really in the two plans. Plus, I also laid out our 30 projects that we have in the pipeline and spread them out over the 5 years to see how we can get them done. And supporting that is those increases that we need to get our funding levels back up to respectable levels where they should be. And that's really the difference of the two. And actually, this year, we can probably add a couple more projects to our list, and we could talk about that after this. So I guess, Holly, what are we looking for here? A motion?
Really just a motion to accept. So right now, looking at this model, I think we both had them listed at the same dollar amount of $193 for 2027. So that would be what goes in that, basically the assessment district that goes to the tax collector, which would be in August. And then really just a consensus on moving that project forward and that we're looking to, not really build that fund balance right away, work on that later, but bring that project forward. Because I know when the committee had voted on the ranking of the projects before, it was very high on the list. But initially, trying to keep that fund balance and weigh those options, it was going to have to come later. But if the committee wants to move it forward, then basically just a consensus on this model that Ms. Vivona has proposed. And these would be the numbers that we build into the 2027 budget, and then moving forward, looking to, refresh as we go, but be close to those same numbers.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's make a budget on Holly or Terry. I don't, a proposal 1 or proposal 2?
Yours is proposal two.
Move the fountains up, or
Yep.
do we,
Yep.
do y'all want to move the fountains up?
Yep.
Is that proposal two?
No, yes, it's proposal 2, move the fountains up.
I motion we move forward with proposal 2 to move the fountains up to an earlier repair time.
Second.
I'll just do another quick roll call. Chairperson Bavona,
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Jones,
Aye.
Committee Member Paul,
Aye.
and Committee Member Markey.
Aye.
So Holly, do you have everything you need to go do your thing,
I
right?
do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And just real quick, procedurally, I know we've talked about this before, but just to remind the committee, we will include the recommendation from the committee in the FY27 budget, but ultimately this decision is in the hands of the city commission. So just wanted to remind the committee members of that.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully our city commissioner supports us, because in September they said they would support us, so we're hoping for that as well. Okay, next order, next line item on here? None? I don't see anything
That's it.
else. I would like to ask Kevin, we kind of talked about the lighting at the main entrance, right? And I think that was one of the items you were going to kind of look at. I didn't know if other vendors were going to get involved in, or...
That's something that is currently on the
list.
agenda, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the other couple of items we have to take a look at this year was the lighting out there.
Correct.
Right? And then medium 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure they're still out there. Now, will you send that out for RFPs, or how does that work?
At this point, because of the total amounts.
Right.
I don't believe it constitutes us doing an RFP.
Oh, okay.
It'll be, just have vendors provide quotes, based on a scope.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
I don't-
see those plans before. we move
Absolutely.
forward, right?
No,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I
Yes,
just want to make sure
yes.
we'll see, so we're trying to get the continuity of the community to kind of look.
Correct.
a little.
Yeah. No, you'll see those before that happens. When is the next
August
meeting?
The August meeting?
August 19th.
August 19th. Okay. Yeah, we'll be all right.
Yeah, we can work on putting together a similar scope like we did for Tuscarora, using some of the same marching orders, if you will, that the committee provided to staff last time. We'll put that out in a similar fashion that we did for Tuscarora, and then bring those on in August. And then we would have to move a little quickly to get those done by the end of September, but it should be doable.
Okay, yeah, because, it's a pretty big project too, if you add up medium 1, 2, 3, 4, and the lighting. I mean, that's almost a $50,000 per budget out there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We'll get it done.
Okay, yeah, just saying. That's fine. I just want to make sure it's on the list. Okay, public input, right? Any other public input? No public input? Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Oh, before I leave, one more thing. It's Ellen's last day. I forgot. It's Ellen's last day, so